So, what if I told you that the one single idea that separates the wealthy from, well, pretty much everyone else is this: the rich don't actually work for money. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but that's the core lesson from the legendary book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and we're going to break it all down right now. But let me ask you something first. Do you ever feel like you're just stuck on a financial hamster wheel? You know the feeling. You get your paycheck, you pay all your bills, and then bam, you're right back where you started, just waiting for the next payday. You're running and running, but you're not actually getting anywhere. Well, that feeling, that's the paycheck to paycheck cycle. It's the one path to money most of us are ever taught. The author of the book, Robert Kiyosaki, he actually learned about money from two totally different father figures. There was his poor dad, who was super educated but always struggled financially. And then there was his friend's rich dad, an entrepreneur who became incredibly wealthy. And just look at their philosophies side by side. Poor dad's advice, it's probably what you've heard your whole life. Go to school, get good grades, find a nice, secure job, the safe route. But rich dad's advice was the complete opposite. It wasn't about getting a job inside the system, it was about owning the whole system itself. This clash between poor dad and rich dad really shows two completely different ways of looking at work and money. Poor dad's path is all about working for money. You trade your hours for a salary, you work harder, maybe you put in more time, and hopefully you get a bigger paycheck. And here's the kicker. When you follow this conventional path, your ability to earn is completely tied to that job. You essentially become a part of someone else's machine. A really important part, for sure, but still just a part. And what happens when that machine doesn't need your part anymore? Rich Dad had this incredible name for this cycle of dependency. He called it the rat race. And it is the perfect metaphor for why just working harder and earning more money almost never leads to real financial freedom. Think about it. Have you ever had this happen? You finally get that raise you've been working for. You feel like you've made it. But then, almost like magic, your expenses start to creep up. Maybe it's a nicer car, a bigger apartment, a few more streaming services, and before you know it, you're just as broke as you were before, just with nicer things. This is the trap laid bare. You earn a paycheck, your lifestyle inflates, so your expenses go up. That puts the pressure on, so you work even harder to get another raise. And once you get it, you're right back at square one, just running a little bit faster on that same wheel. It's a loop that never ends. Okay, I know, seeing it like that can feel a little bleak. And it just begs the question, if working for money is what keeps you in this race, what in the world is the alternative? How do you get off the wheel? And this right here brings us to the biggest lesson from Rich Dad. This is the fundamental mindset shift that separates the wealthy from everyone else. It's not about working harder for your money. It's about making your money work hard for you. Just let that sink in for a second. That one sentence is the key to this whole philosophy. The goal isn't for you to be the engine that powers your financial life. The goal is to build an engine that runs all by itself. So what does that actually look like in the real world? It means you have to shift your entire focus from just earning a bigger salary to acquiring and building assets. What's an asset? Simple. It's anything that puts money into your pocket, day in and day out, whether you're at a job or on a beach. Think of it this way. Working for money is like having to physically push a car everywhere you go. It's exhausting, right? And the second you stop pushing, the car grinds to a halt. Well, having your money work for you, that's like building an engine for that car. Once it's built, it just goes, taking you wherever you want to go without you having to break a sweat. Now, you might be thinking, if this idea is so simple and powerful, why isn't everybody doing it? Well, Kiyosaki says it's because most of us make our money decisions based on two really powerful primal emotions instead of logic. First up is fear. The fear of not being able to pay the bills is what makes us cling desperately to that quote-unquote secure job. It paralyzes us. And then, the second that paycheck hits our bank account, greed takes over. It's that little voice saying, buy the new phone, or you deserve that fancy dinner. Fear traps you in the race, and greed makes sure you keep running on that wheel. Rich Dad's big lesson was this. You have to see these emotions for what they are, but you cannot let them drive the car. Instead of just reacting out of fear or desire, you have to stop, take a breath, and use your mind to find a real solution to see the long-term prize instead of the short-term feeling. Okay, so how do we actually start to build that engine? How do we begin breaking free? This isn't some get-rich-quick thing. It all starts with one absolutely crucial step. And let me be clear, this is not the same thing as being book smart. Financial intelligence is about learning the language of money. It's not just about how to make it, but how to manage it, and most importantly, how to make it grow. The real first step is learning to see the opportunities that everyone else misses and the traps that keep people poor. And that brings us to maybe the most important practical question in all of finance. How can you actually tell the difference between something that puts money in your pocket, an asset, and something that takes money out, a liability? We're going to break down that simple, life-changing definition next time. And I promise the answer is going to change how you look at literally everything you own.